Steve Smith, son, brother, friend, but most importantly, virgin. Second most importantly, songbird. Throughout American Dad's 21 seasons, Steve Smith has serenaded us, the audience, time and time again, being voiced by the immensely talented Scott Grimes, who you may know from the Orville, the Ted series, ER, or even Band of Brothers. Steve's singing voice is surprisingly top-notch, and it shows every single time that he bursts into song on the show. So today we're going to be taking a look at every single Steve Smith song, whether it's a full-blown musical number or just one of the many moments where he feels the need to burst out into song. But today we're going to be taking a look at all of them to find out which ones I think are the best. Baby Come Back.
Baby, come back. Any kind of fool could see there was something in everything about you. Yeah.
This one's just a short little rendition of the classic song by the band Player. Steve's voice is of course perfect for a soulful ballad like this, but what I really enjoy the most about it are those little vocal percussions that he throws in. It really adds just that little bit of oomph that only Steve and Anita Smith can throw into a song. Plus, Stan getting his ass kicked while it's going on is undeniably funny. I'm gonna go with a B tier for this one. My Body.
Your body all over my body, baby.
One of the shorter songs on the list, but damn is it memorable. Steve's take on this Keith Sweat classic might be shorter than some of the others on this list, but it's also his most sensual performance throughout the whole show. Even the ladies that he's singing it to are very into it, and hey, I get it. He sounds great, and he's exuding a sort of confidence that you don't really get from Steve throughout most of the show. But that's probably because he knows he's absolutely killing this track. I'm gonna go with A tier. The Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Girl, I'm gonna rock you in Freedom Town tonight.
A performance with an entire episode leading up to this moment. He starts off this performance pretty subtle, but of course his Steveness takes over pretty quickly and he begins belting along with making up new words and dancing his heart out. It's honestly a great performance, sort of like Michael Jackson or Freddie Mercury inspired, even if Stan doesn't entirely agree with me.
That's my neighbor's son.
I think if I saw this in person at an event, I might be a bit confused, but I would be hyped. So I'm gonna go B tier. Friendversary.
It's a Friendversary.
Honestly, a pretty subdued performance from Steve here. None of the crazy vocal runs or high notes that we come to expect from him. It's sort of got like a late 80s R&B inspired vibe to it, which makes sense considering this is supposed to be a parody of a Tony 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 song. But even with it being a much more subtle performance, Steve absolutely nails it. Nothing really super impressive about this one, but no complaints from me either. So I'm gonna go B tier. Steve's Go to School song.
Oh boy, it's swell to...
Now that Dad is gone, I sing my go to school song. I sing my school song every day.
So as we all know, every episode of American Dad starts off with Stan singing the theme song as he heads off to work. However, now we also get to see the song that Steve starts his day off with. We only get a short glimpse of it, but it seems to be similar in style to Stan's, but definitely having a bit of the Steve touch to it as well. I gotta say, I like the lore of this one, making it seem like this happens every episode, but we just haven't seen it until now. But there's nothing really too impressive in the short glimpse that we get of it either, so I'm gonna go C tier. Trapped in the Locker.
Approaching the locker, they're done practicing soccer. She's opening the locker, wish there was someone to block her.
A take on R. Kelly's infamous Trapped in the Closet series. This is a set of 5 different songs technically, but we're just going to count it as one piece. The songs tell the story of Steve, of course, getting trapped in a locker, only it's in the girls' locker room. The girls catch him, but not before Principal Lewis falls through the ceiling, leading into a story that sees murder, betrayal, and even love unfold. Steve narrates every song over the same R&B beat, but each segment has so many great vocal performances in it, along with some really good storytelling and songwriting. Every segment just gets crazier and funnier with each new layer unfolding. I think this whole thing was just the perfect choice for this show, and definitely one of the best musical moments throughout the show's entire run. S tier. Mail.
Mail, check out what you got now. Get your postcards, birthday cards, eBay or slot cards.
One of the shorter songs, but man does it hit hard. Taking cues from early 2000s pop artists like NSYNC, this one's just an absolute banger. It's upbeat, catchy, and Steve's vocal performance is just fantastic here. This one might be short, but man, it gives so much in that short amount of time. Underrated song. My only real complaint is how short it is. A tier. In the End.
But in the end, it doesn't even matter. One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try.
Here we get a cover of the Linkin Park song. However, the roles are sort of subverted here, with Klaus being the one singing and Steve busting out some raps. I do think that's definitely the funnier choice here, along with the song being entirely a cappella. And while this one is funny, it's not really as impressive or memorable as most of the others on this list, so I'm feeling a C tier. Dessert.
They can imitate you, but they can't duplicate you. 'Cause you got something special that makes me wanna taste you.
This one had a little bit of a resurgence a while back on TikTok, and for good reason. It's a cover of a song by the artist Dewin. I think that's the right way to say that. But man, it is just so damn good. The original song is good too, but just Steve covering it elevates it so much. Even the original artist agrees with me. Something about his voice on this song is just so pleasing to hear. From the subtle lisp on certain words to the almost growling at times. Every time I hear this one, it gets stuck in my head for a couple of days, and for good reason. It's a catchy song with a great performance. And then of course when Klaus comes in, it goes hard as fuck.
What you gonna do with that dessert? Do-a-dee-da-dee-da-doo.
This is an S tier. Rockin' Robert.
He rocks in the treetops all day long, hopping and bobbing and singing his song.
All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the rhyming go.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
Rockin' Robert.
What?
Here we get an extremely mild parody of the song Rockin' Robin, featuring both Haley and Stan. Another short one, but man, does Steve just absolutely kill his verse on this song. Just that little bit of soul that he throws in there makes this one really shine. I'm gonna go B tier. Living on the Run.
I will show the place, yeah, it'll be alright. Look up at the sun, living on the run.
A song performed by Steve's garage band with just a little bit of like an 80s ballad vibe to it, sort of akin to something like Journey. Steve's voice works really well for this one, but it's a pretty short clip, and so we don't really get much room to work with, vocal-wise. It doesn't really show off any vocal chops here, besides being able to hold a note. Nothing really impressive about this one, so I'm gonna go C tier. However, it turns out that this song is actually an original composition written and recorded by Scott Grimes, the voice actor for Steve. He even released an entire version of it on his 2005 album by the same name, Living on the Run. And listening to the actual song, why did they choose this section? Like the rest of this song, absolute banger. It's still obviously got that 80s ballad vibe to it, but throughout the whole entire rest of the song, Scott Grimes is singing his heart out. It's really cool that they used one of his songs for Steve's band, but they chose literally the most boring section of it. If they chose literally any other section of the song, it would be ranked higher. Moving on. Sunset Boulevard. Now this is what I'm talking about. Later in that same episode, we get another clip of the band performing another one of Scott Grimes' original songs. But this time, they definitely let Steve shine a little brighter by choosing a section of the song that actually shows off some vocal chops. They even end it on a nice little vocal run. You know what? They learned from their mistakes apparently, and it paid off. B tier. The Things We Could Be.
We could be Vikings who plunder the sea. These are a few of the things we could be.
While this is like a fully realized song, it's kind of weak in comparison to pretty much every other song on the list. In a parody of the song, A Few of My Favorite Things from The Sound of Music, Steve gives his dad stereotypes galore as he lists off different ethnicities that they might end up being after taking a DNA test. It's alright, it's got some funny moments in it, but the singing is honestly really subdued and doesn't really utilize Steve's vocal talents. And while I don't mean this in an inherently negative way, this kind of sounds like a Family Guy song. Like, this 100% seems more like something you'd catch in an episode of Family Guy than an episode of American Dad. But I think that's because this show has set such a higher standard of quality when it comes to the original music. I think I'm probably going to put this one on C tier. Gonna make you sweat. Parentheses, everybody dance now.
Everybody dance now.
Steve busts out this rendition of the song after getting hopped up on an energy drink, ripping off his shirt, and jumping on the table. It's a short one, but once again, I love when he just like vocalizes the musical part of the song when there's no background music. I just find it really funny and entertaining when they do that. So B tier. Daddy's Gone. After Stan abandons his family for a hot tub, Steve reminisces about his father through the use of a 90s R&B inspired track featuring some background vocals from Roger and a music video full of cliches to coincide. The song here is pretty great. The chorus is definitely an earworm, and Steve's voice is just fantastic throughout the whole thing. It's so good that there's even a popular video of Scott Grimes, the voice actor, performing this live at a Comic-Con. Which he of course nails because he's immensely talented. It's a great song with a great performance, and the music video with Roger just sort of rounds the whole thing out. I'm gonna go S tier. Cool it now.
And all I keep thinking about is her in my arms.
Performing the hit New Edition song with their newly formed boy band, Boy Bomb, Steve not only kills it while covering the singing parts of the song, but even busts out a rap towards the end.
Why you all coming down on me, trying to tell me how my life is supposed to be?
I think the only real detractors of this performance are the other guys in the background, since they're not really on the same level as Steve. But that's also kind of what the episode leads into later, with them continuing on their boy band journey. Steve kills it though, so I'm gonna go A tier. Tractor Boy.
Tractor boy, got you in my tractor beam.
A very short original tune by Steve. He busts this song out at a party after driving everybody around in Snot's uncle's tractor. Even though it's a quick little song, the vocalizations that he does in between the lyrics are of course great as usual. And I think the song's silly enough to be pretty enjoyable, so I'm gonna go B tier. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Absolutely perfect song choice for Steve, even though we only get the one line, but you can't deny that he just totally nails it. A tier. Life is a Highway.
Yeah, life is a highway. I wanna ride it all night long. Go!
Ka-chow. After placing all their furniture on the lawn in an attempt to show Roger just how white trash the family can be, Stan starts playing the tune on his guitar and harmonica, and Steve just immediately joins in. And of course, he totally nails it. This might be more in like the rock wheelhouse, whereas Steve is more inclined to sing like R&B tunes, but his voice just works perfectly for both. And I also love that he just doesn't question it. B tier. My Sexy Aunt. I hated saying that.
Can't wait to see my sexy aunt, who I'm not related to by blood.
A bit of a creepy song for sure, but once again, those little vocalizations that he does just totally makes this one. Outside of those though, the song's pretty weak, even when compared to the other like short acapella songs. I'm gonna go C tier. Backseat Shuffle.
Just shake, shake, shimmy. Slipping and sliding. No, I just
That's
gotta
it
get my
now.
groove on when I'm in the backseat riding.
At the behest of Stan, Steve starts singing his apparently signature backseat song while dancing in the backseat of the car. Unfortunately for Steve, Stan also convinces him to get out of his seatbelt, so when Stan has to slam on the brakes, Steve slams into the window, bringing the song to an abrupt stop. This one's pretty funny though, and it does pop in my head when I get in the backseat sometimes. Let's go B tier. I Don't Wanna Wait.
I don't wanna wait for our lives to be over.
Another short one with it only being really the one line of the song. However, I think this is one of the rare moments where Steve doesn't sound very good. He's singing in his usual falsetto for it, but for some reason he just sounds like a bit out of key maybe? I don't know. This one's weird. I think this might be his worst vocal performance, so I'm gonna go D tier. Bad Bad Boy.
Ain't no saint. Bad, 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 bad boy.
A Michael Jackson inspired track that kicks off this Christmas special with a song all about how much of a brat Steve is. I love this one. The vocal performances are great all throughout, from the more subtle verses to the bridge where he gets to show off more of his vocal range, and then to the chorus that he just absolutely kills. It's catchy, funny, well written, and honestly just a top-notch song all around. So I'm gonna go S tier. We've Been Bad.
'Cause I miss mom and dad.
And I miss my baby Sheila.
A duet number with the magical Christmas entity known as Krampus, all about how neither of them want to be bad anymore. Steve's singing here is pretty great, singing mostly in his higher register throughout the song, but the accompaniment by Charles Bradley as Krampus is just out of this world. I think he not only gives the best singing performance throughout all of American Dad, but this might be one of the best songs in any animated show. His voice is just on another level, and pairing him up with Scott Grimes was just a genius move. And while I do think this is one of the best songs in the entire series, I'm not sure if it's the best Steve song in the entire series. Grimes as Steve holds his own for sure, but he's pretty overshadowed throughout the whole song. Like, yeah, Steve kills it, but we all know that Krampus is the real star of this one. Originally, I had this one on A tier just for that fact, but it's such a good song, it's gotta go on S tier. Pizza Overlord.
33,000 emails, where did they all go? Hillary makes me sick, a time to lock her up for sure. We are all the puppets and George Soros pulls the strings. Pizza Overlord, the thing.
Written by Klaus, but performed by Steve.
I can't stress that enough. Klaus wrote the lyrics.
This was, of course, their submission for the pizza restaurant's new jingle competition. And while the lyrics might have very little to do with pizza being mostly about Hillary Clinton and George Soros, Steve sounds great as usual. Outside of his singing, though, there's not really much too special about this one. The melody isn't very catchy, and honestly, I just think this one's kind of forgettable. But you can't deny that Steve sounds great, so I'm gonna go C tier. Birdwatching Buddies.
Bird watching buddies, take it slow, cause they're the bird watching buddies. And you know that wherever they go, they gonna be watching them birds.
Another duet with Roger, seeing the two of them riding their tandem bike on their way to go birdwatching. But I do like that this one's more of an actual duet rather than like Daddy is Home, where Roger's just providing like backup ad-libs. Especially since he's voiced by Seth MacFarlane, who also has a fantastic singing voice. I think the two of their voices mesh really well together here, and it sounds really nice and pleasing to the ears. It's pretty short, but it's catchy and it sounds fantastic. I'm gonna go A tier. It don't mean a thing.
Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-wop, 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 do-wop.
The first part of the song is good. Steve's singing it with a choir group, so he doesn't really stand out at all. So if it was just that, I'd probably go on like C tier. But the ending of the song, when Steve busts out his drug-fueled scatting session, that sounds bad. But the scatting becoming increasingly more intense while cutting between Roger and Stan fighting, all leading up to the climax of both the fight and the song. Chef's kiss. I want to kiss a chef. This honestly might be one of my favorite moments of the entire show, song or not. And not only is it funny, but it's also seriously impressive. This is going on S tier. Level Up.
Level up, level up, level up.
Blue violet.
I've been working my whole life for this. I'm on the straight and narrow, so I would never miss. No, no.
After starting up a new app that takes off in popularity, Steve, Klaus, and Principal Lewis have nothing better to do but sing about how much they're leveling up. Honestly though, the verses here coming from Steve are pretty underwhelming. He sings it in sort of like a monotone voice throughout the verse, which is just kind of boring and mundane. I will say though, the chorus makes up for it quite a bit.
It's not the time to fade, it's the time to shine, 'cause the chance is now, oh the moment is mine.
He really gets to show off his singing chops here, and it's fun and catchy. I just think if they did a little bit more with the verses, this one probably would have ranked higher for me, so I'm feeling a C tier. Blue Violence.
Won't know which way is up, eating your meals from a cup. Tell the stars and the birdies that I say what's up. This marriage no longer has a prenup. I'm like your scorned husband pulling up in a U-Haul truck.
Switching up singing for rapping, the song features Steve, Klaus, and Principal Lewis once again, except this time with a diss track aimed at Toshi's dad, Hideki, for stealing the aforementioned app. And honestly, this song goes hard as fuck. If you thought Kendrick had the best diss track of the year, think again. We've seen Steve rap a little here and there, but this song is the first time where it actually sounds good. And while you might not originally think that Scott Grimes' voice would work on a rap song, you'd be wrong, because he sounds absolutely fantastic here. I'm gonna go A tier. Girl, You Need a Shot, parentheses, of B12, double parentheses, Boys 12.
Girl, you're gonna feel a little prick.
Listen, boy band introduction songs are stupid, and this really isn't an exception. In case you didn't grow up in the late 90s or the early 2000s, this was a kind of real thing where boy bands would come out with a song sort of introducing themselves to the world. However, this track from B12 pumps that to the limit by having 3 separate meaningless verses that are just the boys introducing themselves.
I'm B6, I pick up sticks.
If this was a real song, I would hate it. However, I do understand that it's just a parody of those tropes, so it doesn't get on my nerves that much. But the damn chorus for this song... It's literally only like 2 lines, but this might be the catchiest chorus I've ever heard in my life. After working on this video for the past couple of days, this is the one that I can't get out of my head. I don't know what it is they put in this like 10-second part of the song, but Jesus, it will not leave my head, and I love it so much. So we're going to go S tier. I'm having a crisis. That's the song. I'm not actually having a crisis. Well, not at this very moment.
I'm having a crisis.
About what's between my thighs is.
So I think this one's actually kind of boring. The song itself feels like a parody of a song that you'd get in like a straight-to-DVD Disney movie. It's a duet between Steve and Haley, and I don't know if it's just because they didn't want Steve to like overshadow Haley, but they really toned it down here for him. There's nothing really memorable or impressive in any parts of the song besides Devin busting in. Outside of the Devin of it all, though, I never really enjoyed this one too much, so I'm going to go D tier. And last up, Hot Enough. Back on his R&B grind, this song sees Steve shaming Stan for checking out other women than his own mom. And honestly, every single thing about this one is just top notch. The fact that this is an original song and not a parody of something is honestly really impressive with how good the actual song is, even outside of Steve's voice. It's really well written, from the actual music to the vocal melodies. It's just a great song. It's extremely catchy, and honestly, if the lyrics were about something other than Steve talking about how hot his mom is, I could see this being really popular. It's just such a well-written song, but then adding Grimes' voice on top of that is just the icing on the cake. He gives, honestly, I think his best vocal performance here. He puts so much like raw emotion into his singing, and you get basically his entire vocal range throughout the song. From hitting the highest falsettos we've seen from him to just adding that gruffness and growling to certain parts. This song is just so damn good. Not only do I know it deserves to go on S tier, but I think I'm going to put it above S tier. Let's call it Steve tier. And there you have it. Honestly, this list was pretty tough to make because pretty much every song, Scott Grimes sounds amazing as Steve. Even the short little bursts of songs that you get here and there throughout the show, he just sounds fantastic all the time. Let me know in the comments which songs you like the most, and if I missed any that you thought should have been on the list. I think I got them all, but I don't know. And Mr. Grimes, if you're watching, I'll sing all the songs for you and let you rank them, just to be fair. It'll be bad. Anyways, thanks for watching.